Hello, life group leaders. Hey, this weekend I am teaching, and there's some areas that can get kind of confusing because I use different terms, and terms we've all heard, like Sheol, Hades, paradise, heaven, hell, new earth, new heaven. And it's important that we as leaders discipling others understand how does all this fit together. So I want to give you a really brief lesson on this that I don't think I could do on Sunday morning. I'm going to do my best to communicate this Sunday morning, but I think it's helpful to see a picture of it and allow you to kind of digest this ahead of your group meeting. So first off, let me just go to this whiteboard here and talk about some very significant events. Christ coming, dying on the cross, rising from the dead, the resurrection. Prior to that, there was the pre-resurrection, and then we expect and we await for the return of Christ. Now, somebody who died before Jesus came, before the resurrection, and remember, it was after he died that the curtain was torn into from top to bottom, giving people access to God. So prior to that, when people died, they went to a place called Sheol. Sheol was, the term for that was, it was the place of the dead. They would go to Sheol. In fact, that's the lesson this week. I'm looking at the account of the rich man and Lazarus. This is Luke's verse 19 to 31. The account of the rich man and Lazarus, and we see there that Sheol was comprised of two compartments. One was Hades, or what is known as a place of torment. The other was Abraham's bosom, or a place of joy. We could think of this almost as paradise, but the paradise that I have been teaching on is the paradise where God exists, and there was no access yet to God directly to them, so they would go to a place called Abraham's bosom. Now, when Christ died on the cross, when he was resurrected, came back to life, the scriptures say, and this is even the Apostles' Creed says this, that Christ descended to the dead. Some versions of that even say that Christ descended into hell. We can find that in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 8 to 10. And it says while he was while he descended, he took captives, and then he came and gave many gifts. So what Christ did when he descended, he actually went into the portion of Sheol that was Abraham's bosom. He took all the people from Abraham's bosom and brought them into paradise, into God's very existence, because now their sins were completely covered over by what Christ had done on the cross. He left all those other ones in Hades. Hades, the place of torment. Now what's happened in our era, while we await for the return of Christ, anyone who dies, their faith is confirmed. In other words, is their name found in the book of life. I find that in Revelation 21, I think it's verse 27. And if their name is found in the book of life, they go into paradise. They dwell exactly with God. Remember, during this time, the spirit and the body are separated. The body returns to dust. The spirit is what goes on. We are given a temporary body. Even here, there's good reason to believe that these folks had temporary bodies. We have temporary bodies awaiting the resurrection. But those of us who have placed our faith in Jesus are in paradise when we die with our temporary body with God. And those whose names are not into the book of life, they're in this same place of torment that we found back here. They're in this place of torment with their body. As of this point, until Christ returns and creates the new heaven and a new earth, hell is not open for business yet, and either is heaven. This is just a concept I want us to understand. Once Christ returns, there'll be a resurrection from the dead. That is in 1 Thessalonians 4:17. There will be a Christ's return. Those who are still alive at that time will be caught up in the clouds and go directly to paradise. Those who are in paradise already or in Hades will be resurrected from the grave. That's Daniel 12:2. They will be resurrected from the grave. They will be given new bodies, and they will go to the new heaven, which is on the new earth, which we'll find heaven will be on the new earth. And those at that time will be resurrected to everlasting shame and contempt, and they will be going to hell, also known as the lake of fire. So you can see there's a lot going on here. You can see how this could be confusing, but I just wanted you to kind of get this idea in your mind. I'm going to try to be communicating this during the sermon, which by now you've heard it, and I'm also going to, over the next few weeks, continue to bring up certain parts of this as well. So that's a lesson for today. I hope this helps you.